Tim Moore here with TLC Pressure Washing, and a lot of times we'll get calls and they'll get a quote and they'll be like, but our house is brick. Like brick doesn't get dirty or something, I don't really know. So they're wondering why there's a cost involved with brick versus vinyl. You'd think that, you know, vinyl is a lot more to clean. But in actuality, it can be actually less and easier to clean vinyl than it is brick. Let's look at a few things that causes brick to sometimes cost more. We're in Murfreesboro at this beautiful brick home, and as you can see, I'm going to flash it up there. I'm going to show you the gutters and show you how bad the gutters is. The reason why is because they haven't had it washed in a while because they own a brick home. Check this out. And you can see right there where I stopped, and the rest of it is dirty. Okay, that's one thing. Number two, brick gets dirty really bad on the bottom, just like vinyl does, but I've got to actually run a little bit of pressure on that to get that off, versus if I was just to spray house wash mix on it and it was vinyl, it would just rinse right off. And another thing people don't realize is brick can actually absorb water. I'm going to show you here in a second. As you'll see, I'm going to start at the top, I'm going to rinse. And as you'll see, the amount of water that goes from the top when I start at the top and actually makes it to the bottom is quite a bit of difference. Whereas if this was vinyl, it's plastic, everything sheets off plastic, there's no absorption rate. So it takes me a little bit more to rinse this section of brick than it would be this section of vinyl. Because once I start at the top, all the water I put at the top ends up at the bottom, and it just sheets down, and it actually helps me rinse. It's not going to happen here on brick. You're going to get some coming down, but you're not going to get as much because the brick and the mortar is going to absorb some of that water. So watch this. Now look at the amount of water that's actually going to make it to the bottom. And it's not actually going to ever reach the bottom. Whereas if that was a vinyl house, all of that water, every ounce of that water would eventually reach the bottom of the house. Now in order for me to get to the bottom, I'm going to have to continue rinsing. And that gives you just a small demonstration as to why I'll spend more time at this brick house than I would, say, a vinyl house of the same size. Vinyl houses get done more often. They're not quite as dirty. I can rinse a lot easier. I have to rinse every square inch of this brick and make sure it gets all rinsed down, because the stuff I put up there to eat that nasty oxidation off the gutter, I don't want to leave on the brick. I want that all the way down to the bottom. So in other words, if you've got a brick house or even a vinyl house, call Tim Moore and talk to Carol at 615-405-8731, and we'll get you taken care of, whether you own brick, vinyl, stucco, or whatever. Tim Moore, TLC Pressure Washing.